is importance of Sadguru. Before we delve in that particular topic, as usual, we would start today with Swagat Gan, Mangal Gan. Then we would go with Swarved chanting. And then we will discuss on the topic importance of Sadguru. And thereafter bhajan, and then question and answer session. I would like to remind everyone, please put your questions on slido.com with code VYGOS. If you want to ask any question, if you want to discuss any question, you can type your questions on slido.com. To begin with now, it is mark of our undying tradition to invoke the Sadguru at the beginning of this occasion to bless us. Let us immerse ourselves in his thoughts and pray to him to eradicate differences and ills among various classes, communities, and sections. And let us have universal peace. For that, I would like to invite Tulika ji from USA to do Swagat Gan and Mangal Gan. Tulika ji, please.
Thank you, Subhash ji. Jai Sadguru Dev, everybody. स्वागत गान. आज स्वागत नित्य गुरुवर संत शुभागम आइए. अध्यात्म विद्या दिव्य ज्योति सोमरस बरसाइए. दोष दुर्गुण दूर करके शुद्ध हंस बनाइए. भेद गम गति ज्ञान गर्जन शक्ति द्वार हटाइए. खुले द्वारा शब्द सागर भक्त जन अनहवाइए. जन सदा फल विश्व शिक्षक शान आन बचाइए. आज स्वागत नित्य गुरुवर संत शुभागम आइए. बोले सतगुरुदेव की जय. मंगल गान. विश्व शांति नाम मंगल परम गुरु को ध्याइए. वर्ग द्वंद अशांति दूर कर भाव भेद मिटाइए. सार्वभौम समष्टि सत्ता ध्यात्म राज्य बनाइए. भेष भाषा भाव जगमय ज्ञान पर दर्शाइए. समृद्धि सुख शांति धरातल स्वर्ग भूमि बनाइए. विश्व शिक्षक जन सदा फल नीति स्वर अपनाइए. विश्व शांति नाम मंगल परम गुरु को ध्याइए. बोलिए सद्गुरुदेव की जय. Back to you, Subhash ji.
Thank you very much, Tulika ji. We are all blessed. Let this earth be a heavenly place with plentiful bliss, prosperity, and peace. Now, moving forward, we are moving for Swarved. Today, I'd like to say a few more things before we start the Swarved Doha. What is Swarved? The word Swarved is made up of two words. One is Swah, another one is Ved. Swah means Brahma, the supreme being, and Ved means the knowledge. That means Swarveda is an unparalleled spiritual treatise about the knowledge of Supreme Being. And now it's time to listen carefully the verses from Swarved. And for that, I would like to invite Abhaji from Australia to read out, chant some Swarved dohas, please. Abhaji.
Thank you, Subhaji. Jai Sadguru everyone. Swarved Path. स्वयं सिद्ध गुरु जग चले, श्रुति वशिष्ठ है नाम, ध्यो पीठ साकेत है, अनुपम अविचल धाम. From Mukti Dham, one of the blessed soul who comes on earth with the permission of Parbrahm and Sadguru Sukrit Dev, forms a human body with his own power and spreads the knowledge of Parbrahm amongst human beings through Vihangam Yoga technique. That soul, or rather entity, is called Swayam Siddh Sadguru. In Vedic language, his name is Vashisht. He is the Siddh soul, one of kind, the Vashisht. He is the Siddh soul, one kind of the entity. He never takes birth, nor he dies. He disappears from the earth once the job is done. उतर ज्ञान जहि हंस में, मंत्र दृष्टा ऋषि सोए, परम गुरु वह जानिए, अन्य गुरु नहीं कोय. When Parbrahm's spiritual energy flows to a soul of a rishi, that rishi is called the Sadguru, and who lives in human form. Such entity is called Abhyas Siddh Sadguru. Such Abhyas Siddh Sadguru is born and receives Sadguru Pad by Nitya Anadi Sadguru. Abhyas Siddh Sadguru's name is Maharshi Sadguru Sadafal Dev Ji Maharaj, who was conferred as Sadguru. Maharshi Sadguru Dev Maharaj was conferred as Abhyas Siddh Sadguru after practicing 17 years of rigorous spiritual meditation. This was conferred by Nitya Anadi Sadguru. अज सदगुरु की युक्ति से थीर पवन मन होए, कुंभक धारण योग से वशी कभी नहीं सोए. By following Sadguru's Vihangam Yoga technique, Pavan and Man both settles down and becomes peaceful. By holding the breath and controlling the prana, in other words, by doing kumbhak, prana cannot be controlled. Hatha Yogi, by the help of kumbhak, they control prana by taking them into Brahmand. During that time only, mind stays in control. But as soon as they are out of kumbhak state, man comes back to original state, and then that yogi is back to Maya, inert world. Prana and man cannot be controlled by detaching for shorter time by kumbhak. By Vihangam Yoga technique, after detaching man and prana, yogi takes them to their mandal. Then in shorter time frame, they get enlightened by Brahma Prabhu. They become peaceful and gets dissolved. After that, soul power proceeds further ahead. When soul is connected to body, then only all senses comes to motion. When the soul power proceeds ahead of the prana and man mandal, then automatically they both becomes peaceful after leaving prana and man in conscious world, Akshar Mandal. Soul proceeds up further and experiences Param Akshar, Param Prabhu, Supreme God. Therefore, only by following Vihangam Yoga technique, man and prana becomes stable and peaceful, not just by controlling your breath. Jai Sadguru Dev. Over to you, Subhashji.
Thank you very much, Abhaji. Just few more sentences about Swarved I would like to share here with all the listeners. Swarved can emphatically be called the world's most eloquent collection of all the spiritual secrets. which contains the doctrine as well as the practical experiences of the spirituality. It was authored by none other than Anant Sri Sadguru Sadafal Devji Maharaj as a collection of his spiritual experiences during the state of conscious samadhi. So whatever we just heard from Abaji was nothing but the all practical experiences what Sadguru Sadafal Devji Maharaj had experienced during his conscious state of samadhi. Now moving forward, we have a topic today to be discussed, and that is importance of Sadguru. There are basically two types of knowledge described by all the saints. One is called Paravidya, another one is called Aparavidya. From the Vedas and from the different scriptures, it is mentioned, I'm just reading out from one place. Tatra para Rigvedo Yajurveda Samaveda Atharveda Shiksha Kalpo Vyakaranam Niruktam Chando Jyotishamiti Atha para Yaya Tadaksharamadi Gamyate. There are two sciences. One is para, another one is apara. Apara Vidya is all full of many types of worldly and scientific knowledge because it is empirical and it has theory as well. This knowledge pertaining to deities, geography, geology, astronomy, astrology, and all different types of culture and arts as well. And we have gurus for all of these knowledges. However, what about the Paravidya? Who is the real guru to teach us the Paravidya, which is nothing but the knowledge of the soul and the Supreme Being, how to get united? The guru, which teaches us about the self-realization, the God realization, the consciousness energy, is none other than called the Sadguru. And today we have one speaker, and he is actually from Spain, who is going to talk about the importance of Sadguru. His name is Rahulji, who is an experienced professor as well, who would enlighten us about the importance of Sadguru. Rahulji, over to you, please.
Satchidananda Rupaya Vishwapatyadihetave Tapatre Vinasaya Shri Guruve Vayam Namah. Good afternoon from Spain. Thanks for inviting me, Asdi. Hope everything is all right at your end.
Yes, everything is fine. Thank you very much.
My heartiest regards to everybody joining this live session. Last week, we got the chance to listen to Santji and ponder upon human life, an opportunity to know the self. In today's session, we will discuss about importance of Sadguru. So it may be thought of as a continuation. Why Sadguru? Why Sadguru in meditation? The question arises here is, why don't we learn the technique from book or online resources? Why do we need Sadguru? Well, my friend, if meditation is just about relaxing your body and relaxing yourself, then you may not need Sadguru. But meditation is not confined to just mere relaxation. You have to first understand meditation. Meditation is about reversing your consciousness from material world to the inner core, from materialistic dimension to the dimension of consciousness. But who stops you? Who stops you from achieving this? It is our own evil mind which creates resistance. And resistance is the most toxic force on the planet. Swamiji says, जड़ माया तुझे ठगी, तू चेतन ठगी जाए. Resistance created by more unhappiness than disease and poverty, because yielding to our mind's plan deform our soul. Mind works 24/7 to keep us away from becoming who we are and who we are born to be. The mind does not want us to evolve. The ego runs the soul right now, right here. So where is the rescue? Swamiji has further written, यह कैसा अज्ञान है सद्गुरु शरण उपाय. We cannot understand the conscious soul and conscious Almighty God through our sensory organs. Sadguru is the one who bestows us with the vision to access the self and our soul. It is Sadguru's blessing which helps us clear our doubt about the self. Because doubt is the only tool that can destroy human being. Sansay atma vinasyati. And what Sadguru does is, Gurustu manam vyakhyanam sisyatu chinya sansaya. Sadguru clears all the doubt from the soul. Now, what is the dimension where the Sadguru resides? Sadguru is an invisible force that supports and sustains us in our journey towards ourselves. He resides in some higher dimension. He is the one who helps you in accessing the self. Sadguru is the force who lets you explore your genius. If you just look at the Latin meaning of genius, then you will realize that genius means inner spirit, holy and inviolable, which watches over us, guides us. A writer writes with his genius, interpaints with his genius. My friend, let me tell you very frankly, the genius has nothing to do with material dimension. It is 100% spiritual. Sadguru Brahma hai nar swarup ke mahi. He lives in different spheres, which is not in our plane of existence. But the tragedy is, for the longest time, we have taken spirituality out of the picture. Be it from entrepreneurial experience, we have dismissed spirituality as woo-woo. The fact of the matter is, human beings are not taught to tap into all awareness and consciousness to make an impact on the world. The more higher you go, it has to be with the inner being. You have to tap into spiritual core, and you need Sadguru. When Sadguru energy starts flowing in a prepared soul, we automatically inherit science and wisdom. Sadguru is the ultimate source of wisdom. It took me several years to realize that. Like when we sit down and meditate day after day and we keep grinding, what we do is we access ourselves. Something mysterious starts to happen. A process is set into motion by which inevitably and infallibly Sadguru comes to our aid. He helps us. Unseen forces enlist in our cause. Serendipity reinforces our purpose. Sadguru takes a note of our dedication. He approves it. We have earned favor in his sight. And then we become like a rod that attracts iron fillings. Ideas come, insight accrete. And that is why our Swamiji has said, Purna Gyan Darshan le so Sadguru pad paaye. Dhanya dhanya soi hans hai, taran wo taran aaye. Our Swamiji has said it multiple times that God gives us everything but does not give himself. What Sadguru does is, he does not only gives God, he also gives himself. I will stop now on the lighter note that when I got to know about Vihangam Yoga several years ago, I was in the conviction that I will learn few techniques of meditation and I will practice it. I was in the conviction that it's me who will do the meditation. But later I realized that doing that technique alone or learning that technique alone will not make me good practitioner. My genius never reached perfect without Sadguru. I was ignoring that it is Sadguru lets you meditate, who guides you what to eat, what not to eat, when to sleep, to speak and what not to speak, either through some visible sources or invisible sources. And that is why I take a minute and show respect to this unseen power who lives in sphere higher than this one, a plane of reality superior to the material dimension in which we dwell. And if the newcomer has some sense of uncomfortability or they don't want to listen to about this, they can simply think of it as some general or some abstract setting like gravity. But gravity, if you look at the literal meaning of gravity, you will realize that gravity means truth. And if there is no gravity, the whole universe will go mumble and jumble. So something that is a akarsan of Guru. So who are we? We should always be in the action of our Sadguru. And with this, I will end my talk. Thank you, Subhasji.
Thank you very much, Rahulji. I'd like to emphasize here one more time to all the listeners. Please put your questions on slido.com. The code is VYGOS. Please feel free to put any question related with the topic we have today. The topic is importance of Sadguru, about which Rahul ji has just spoken about. Now, moving forward, we have a bhajan today, and that I would be inviting for that Rekha ji from USA to do a bhajan, please.
Thank you, Subhasji, and Jai Shadgurudev, everybody. Bhajan. अद्भुत मार्ग योग विहंगम मैं तुमको बतलाऊंगा यदि विधिवत तुम साधन करी हो यदि विधिवत तुम साधन करी हो अमर लोक पहुंचाऊंगा अद्भुत मार्ग प्रकृति आधार तो ही छोड़वाओ निज स्वरूप ठहराऊंगा प्रकृति आधार तो ही छोड़वाओ निज स्वरूप ठहराऊंगा सुरती उलटी के गगन चढ़ाऊं सुरती उलटी के गगन चढ़ाऊं डोरी मकर धराऊंगा अद्भुत मार्ग पिंड ब्रह्मांड शून्य ज्वर शठ ताओ पर बैठाऊंगा, अनुभव दर्शे मोती बरसे, अनुभव दर्शे मोती बरसे, अमिया नद्य न्हावाऊंगा, अद्भुत मार्ग शुद्ध रूप तो है हंस बनाऊं, परम पुरुष दिखलाऊंगा, वहाँ की दृश्य कौन मैं वर्णूं, वहाँ की दृश्य कौन मैं वर्णूं, वाणी बुद्धि न पाऊंगा, अद्भुत मार्ग महाप्रभु अनंत दया में, उनसे तो ही मिलाऊंगा, कहीं सदा फल, कहीं सदा फल, कहीं सदा फल, परमानंदा आवागमन मीटाऊंगा, अद्भुत मार्ग योग विहंगम, मैं तुमको बतलाऊंगा, अद्भुत मार्ग। बोलिए सदगुरुदेव की जय। Over to you, Subhash ji.
Thank you very much, Rekha ji. Now, moving forward, we have question and answer session. And for that, we have Vijay ji as well, who has joined for answering some of the questions, along with Rahul ji as well. And I can see there are some questions have been put in the slido.com. Still, I would request the listeners to put some more questions. I have some of my questions as well. And Vijay ji, I would like to welcome you as well to the forum to have some discussion with us on the topic and the questions as well.
Sure, thank you. Yeah.
So if I see the questions, I can see the most popular one is, in fact, of course, related with Sadguru itself, the word Sadguru. One of the question, in fact, 2-3 questions peculiarly, says that in today's world, if we look around, there are many gurus, there are many people who say, I am Sadguru, like that. Of course, all of them are respected, they are respectful. But I think listeners want to understand, the person who has put this question, they want to understand how actually they would be able to recognize, identify the real Sadguru who is. Rahul ji also had mentioned at one point there is an attraction of Sadguru. How all these things for a normal person, for a layman person, how they would be able to recognize in the deep that, okay, fine, yes, now I am attached, associated with the real Sadguru. Vijay ji?
Yeah, this is fantastic question. And in fact, this runs through everybody's mind because of the flood of gurus there in this creation now. One thing for sure, that because of all these gurus, people are at least paying attention to spirituality. And that is why all these gurus are respected. They are making people spiritual. But once we become, or we intend to become spiritual because of so many gurus' influence, once we intend to become spiritual, if our intensity of seeking grows, grows like who? Like Sadguru Sadafal Devji Maharaj. I would like to cite the real examples of how Maharshi Sadafal Devji Maharaj was blessed with the guidance of eternal Sadguru. Right at the age of 11, Sadafal Devji Maharaj, at that tender age, he had developed the deep curiosity to know the truth about the self, about the life and death, about everything that was mesmerizing him around. And his deep seeking was so truthful, so intense, that he left home right at the age of 11 and went length and breadth, started walking all around, started talking to saints and gurus available at that age, at that time. And whatever he could learn, he bowed down to that learning and practiced. He wanted to perfect and get something out of it, something which was mentioned in the Vedic scriptures, something that he heard already, that the soul is conscious and so is Almighty God. His only parameter of seeking was to find a technique which will take him into the dimension of consciousness. He already had that basic understanding that all the five dimensions of perception that we have through the five sensory organs do not dwell into the dimension of consciousness. So he wanted to find that secret path, that secret technique, which will open up the dimension of consciousness into his experience. And with that parameter, he started practicing all the technique that he could learn from various gurus around. And he was so honest in practicing the technique being taught, is that he used to practice continuously for 6 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours, the technique that used to be taught to him. He used to sometimes fan down with maybe that intensity of practice, and then would wake up later and then only to begin the practice again. So when seeker becomes sincere, when the sincerity is at the peak for the seeker, then something like this happens. A voice started guiding Sadguru, started guiding Maharshi Sadafal Dev. The voice said, what will happen with these practice? The process of realizing Almighty is something else. When he used to practice, when he wanted to practice certain technique, he felt a touch on his top of the head. When he opened his eyes, he sees full of light. All these incidents was mesmerizing him. Something very, very divine was happening to him. Why that happened to Maharshi Sadafal Dev at that tender age, in his sincere, arduous seeking? Because we don't seek Sadguru. Sadguru seeks the true, sincere disciple. The great misunderstanding that people carry today is that they equate Sadguru to a human being. People think that Sadguru is just a human being limited to human capacity, which is the great mistake. Sadguru is not confined to the human limit. Sadguru is an eternal entity. Sadguru is an entity who is always close to everybody. If you read Vedas, it mentions Anti santam na jahati anti santam na pashyati devasya devasya pashya kavyam na mamara na jirati. Anti santam na jahati anti santam na pashyati devasya pashya kavyam na mamara na jirati. It means that है समीप दिखे नहीं वह देखे सब कोई जरा मृत्यु नहीं ताहि में कह पंडित वा कोई. There is one holy saint, divine entity who is close to everybody, who is watching everybody. He carries a divine wisdom. Nobody can see him unless he makes himself appear to the person. Look at his wisdom, the one that will liberate you. We all need to understand that Sadguru is always close to everybody, always watching everybody. If we truly want to find Sadguru, then on this level, we can understand that all we need to do is develop the deep and sincere and truthful seeking within us. Then Sadguru will find us. Now, coming to just few parameter, this was at divine level, that yes, Sadguru, from some divine zone is already watching everybody, will seek us if we are truthful. But even on the ground level, on the intellect level, we can at least do some investigation that how a particular master has become a master. Because by reading Vedas, you cannot become Sadguru, but you can become preacher. By practicing meditation, also you can become a yogi, but not Sadguru. Sadguru is one chosen. If you talk about the physical human form of Sadguru, even that human form of Sadguru is not made by him reading the books and scriptures. Even though one becomes perfect practitioner of meditation, he cannot become Sadguru, because Sadguru in the human form is also one who is elected by that divine eternal Sadguru, the conscious Sadguru. Aj Guru ki chaya pade Sadguru pad adhikar, vidya padh Guru na bane mahakatin vyavahar. Only when that divine eternal Sadguru is always watching everybody, when he accepts a human being as his successor and passes on his energy and divine wisdom to that chosen soul, only with his blessings and shadow that chosen soul become the human form of Sadguru. So even little bit of investigation that how a particular guru has become guru would enable us to figure out whether he is the chosen Sadguru or he is the self-acclaimed Sadguru. Because Sadguru is never self-acclaimed, nor Sadguru is made by the election by thousands of people. Sadguru is rather elected just by Sadguru himself. Only Sadguru can make human Sadguru. It doesn't come within the capacity of a human being to elect a Sadguru, but Sadguru is one who carries that flow of Sadguru energy, which is received by the eternal Sadguru. So with this, I would conclude. Obviously, this topic is so wide and so in depth that it is difficult to just say in one line how to find Sadguru, but only by knowing the gravity of Sadguru, we can understand that Sadguru, we don't seek Sadguru, Sadguru seeks us. Yeah, that's
Thank you, Vijayji. You have very rightly said many things out of it. One very interesting fact, what you mentioned, is a person can become yogi, but questions on the Slido, and I'm going to club some of the things which Rahulji also had mentioned. So one person is mentioning as a question that how can I become sincere disciple despite the distraction of mind? And Rahulji, you had mentioned at one point that Sadguru himself guides us. You mentioned that even if we believe that we are meditating, ultimately it's the Sadguru who is guiding us to make us meditate. So can you please throw some light on this point on the basis of your experience? Because you mentioned at one point that it took you some number of years to realize things about Sadhguru. So it would be very nice to have some of your further words on this for the listeners to understand how they can become a good disciple to be under Sadhguru shade.
Yes, you see, the main problem is we think that me incorporated is far better merchandise than Sadguru Incorporated. We think that it's me who is doing the meditation. It's me who is doing the meditation. It's me who is chanting the mantras. But it's not like that. That is why we have not been trained. So, like, inspiration is divine. It's not material. We have to understand this philosophy. Inspiration is totally divine. You don't start meditating in a moment. It takes several years of sanskaras. So we first have to understand this basic simple concept that inspiration is not material, is not by some literature, is not by reading some philosophies. Inspiration is totally divine. Like when Beethoven, like the famous musician, he created the fifth symphony. Like the God was telling those symphony to everyone, not just Beethoven, but Beethoven was the only one who created the fifth symphony. So it's the Sadguru who searches for the soul, the well-prepared soul. And if you have been initiated into this technique, you are the lucky one. You just have to understand the simple concept that inspiration is not material, is not guided, it's divine. The moment we understand that, we will start. So surrender yourself to Sadguru. Just request him, please make me meditate. Please make me meditate. This is the least you can do with your mind. If the mind is the cunning thing, you can at least request this simple thing. Sadguru, please let me meditate. You can surrender every day. You just have to identify your resistance, the cunning nature of mind, the trick that mind is playing every day, that you are the one who is doing this. It's not like that. That is what we have been trained for so long years. It has been in our system. It has been incorporated in our system. Since time memorial, we have been trained like that it's we who are doing this. It's not like that. It was never like that. Like we have been trained to be in groups, this group, this Facebook group, this WhatsApp group. But we have been never trained to be the self. And our mind always plays the trick. He said, oh, if you won't be in this group, you will be socially outcast. It's not like that. You have to be with yourself first. And the simple thing you can do is at least request to Sadhguru that please let me meditate. Because inspiration was never material, it was always divine. It was always spiritual. All life is yoga. No matter what life you consider, all life is yoga. But the problem is the training we had given since time immemorial that spiritually is something woo-woo. It's like something that is beyond materialistic adventure. It's not like that. All life is yoga. Thank you.
Yeah, very rightly said, Rahulji. The important word which I caught from your saying is the word surrender to the Sadguru. That is very important. And I have to honor the time as well. So I'm moving towards one very interesting question. And that question is a bit of challenging as well. But Vijayji, to you, one person is asking, if suppose Sadguru has all the powers, right? All different kinds of power, divine powers, he can do this, he can do that. Then why doesn't he show his power and prove himself? Right? That is the question is being put here. And if I club that in with another question, one question is Sadguru Sadafal Devji Maharaj had placed to liberate 100,000 lives. How any one single person would come to know whether he is a part of that number or not? Why Sadhguru doesn't come in front and says, okay, you are there, you are there, you are there, you are there? I'm just trying to club the questions like that. Is it possible? And is it really the true thing to do, or there is something more beyond that which we are not able to understand, or the listeners are trying to understand more? Vijayji, please.
Yeah, Jasudev. Yeah, definitely. This is something which is very, very um, a secret affair of Sadguru, who he wants to show his mystic powers. This is very secret affair because this is always between the soul and the Sadguru. It has never been between a community and Sadguru. We have individual relation with Sadguru. If you are looking out to see his mystic power, then it is totally into how much you want to surrender to him. If more you surrender, more he will display his power. And that is what is one of his art. One of the 20 divine art is that he displays his power only to the extent we develop a degree of surrender. Based on our degree of surrender, he will open up to that extent. And that's why there have been disciples who have been blessed enough to see his magnanimous power. So I cannot comment on this, that why Sadhguru does not boast himself by displaying tremendous power to everybody who deserve or doesn't deserve to know him. I cannot comment on that, but all I can assure is that those who deserve, those who have had honest practice of meditation, have experienced his power in no time. So the ball is always in the seeker's hand, whether he really is sincere in knowing it, or it is just another form of entertainment for him to just be entertained by the power of Sadguru. Sadguru's power is not for entertainment. Sadguru power is for liberation. Sadguru power is for devotion. Sadguru power is for those who are sincere in this path. If we become sincere enough, then Sadguru is just evident to those who are sincere. Now, the second part of the question, that how I know whether I am chosen one among 100,000 souls, minimum 100,000 souls that Sadguru has taken a pledge to liberate. Well, that is again between Sadguru and the soul. So, but one parameter, one great parameter that Sadguru has given to all disciples is that how much we are close to Sadguru is measured by how much breath he is utilizing from our life into his service. How much service we are offering to Sadguru is definitely one parameter. If we get bombarded with the opportunity of seva, and we are grabbing it, we are doing it, we are rather burning our life into seva, that is definitely one parameter to know that we are close to Sadguru. And we are doing so not because of this intellectual pressure that only when I do seva, Sadguru is close to me, but we are doing it by deep affection, deep love. Love would be better word than affection. Deep love, deep devotion, in fact, even better term. When we are doing this seva out of deep devotion, because we cannot, our mind doesn't go to anywhere else. Our mind goes to seva. That's when I'll call that we are devoted to seva. It is not because of some intellectual analysis and we figured out that okay, I should do seva, but we are devoted to it from the core, inner core. We feel that we are indebted to Sadguru because Sadguru has adopted me. If we feel that in that the debt within our soul, that I I mean, if even though I surrender my entire life to Sadguru's cause, still I think the debt of Sadguru will not be over. If we had that deep feeling of great blessing of Sadguru and being indebted of Sadguru's blessing, and we are in that deep connection, deep devotion, I think that could be one parameter to know that maybe I am the chosen one. Because when you're chosen one, then your life is not only in your hand, your thought also is not only in your hand. In fact, then it is Sadguru who start guiding you. Sadguru who start setting the milestone of your life. Sadguru is the one who start giving you inspiration, thoughts, ideas. It's like your key, or your the key driving of your life then is in Sadguru's hand. It is not in your hand. And you will experience it. You will experience that things are automatically being set for you, as if somebody else is now governing your life. So when something like that happens, maybe that could be one parameter for us to know, but I cannot, it's just my personal opinion. I cannot say, because it is always between Sadguru and individual soul, and relation of Sadguru and individual soul is very private. So I cannot comment about your relation with Sadguru. I can comment only about my relation with Sadguru. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vijayji. Very insightful. I can see lots of questions. I think probably for the next week, we have to carry forward this topic again, importance of Sadguru part 2, probably, because I can see there are lots of burning questions. We have left with just 5 to 6 minutes, but quickly, just in 2 to 3 minutes, if Rahulji or Vijayji, any one of you can answer one particular question. So nowadays, of course, there are plenty of gurus, Sadgurus, so-called, and many people have their inner belief. They have their inner belief that they are connected with one guru who is probably the one which they think. But at a time, after a few years, they feel that they have been misguided. What should they do? Does this mean that they have lost everything in their past life, in this particular life, but in past years? Should they do something else? How they should do? I mean their mind would not easily accept everything. I know there was one saint, Tukaramji from Maharashtra, who has done 24-25 gurus, and then finally he got 25th Sadguru, the 25th guru as the Sadguru. So you are also, Vijayji, mentioning here that people should continue their journey, the inner journey, and one day definitely the Sadguru will choose him or her. So the path is more important compared to whom you are associated with. Is that the point?
Yeah, absolutely. You rightly pointed out that we should always consider this as a process, and it is said that Guru karo das pacha jab tak Guru mile na sacha. So unless we, in fact, no guru is should be disrespected because there is something to learn from him, and we have always been doing that. We have been always graduating ourselves from one class to the next level of class, like we graduate from grade 1 to grade 2 to 3 to finally we reach to university, we do PhD. So we have been always graduating and we have been always changing our guru for that sake. So similarly in the spiritual domain, if you think that this guru could give me only this much, then just bow down to that and move on to find something beyond which that guru could not give you. But eventually we definitely, if our deep seeking, if our honesty in seeking is there and is very sincere, then you're born to find Sadguru, because Sadguru is the one who will prepare all the thread of connections and will make you meet him.
Yes. Thank you very much, Vijayji and Rahulji, for joining us today to have discussion on the topic importance of Sadguru. We would definitely in the next session continue this discussion with more speakers to have more clarity about importance of Sadguru, because we all believe just half an hour, 1 hour is not enough to conclude all such kind of topics. And again, once again, thank you very much, Rahulji and Vijayji. On the time, I would like now to move towards the Shanti part, the closer. And can I invite Vinita ji, please, to do the Shanti part? Vinita ji.
Thank you, Subhash ji. Jai Sri Gurudev, everybody. Shanti part. हे प्रभु शांति स्वरूप हो, शांति शांति मैं शांति, शांति शांति जन शांति हो, पूर्ण शांति मैं शांति। हे प्रभु शांति प्रदान कर, दूर हो सर्व शांति, देव सदा फल शांति में, शांति शांति सुख शांति। बोले सर गुरुदेव की जय। बैक टू सुभाष जी।
Thank you very much, Vinita ji. And now, at the end, I'd like to thank you all the speakers joining us today, starting from Tulika ji, Abha ji, Rahul ji, Rekha ji, Vijay ji, and Vinita ji as well. And more importantly, thank you very much to all the listeners joining us today, because without your presence, this session is not complete. Please put your questions still on slido.com, where the code is VYGOS. We will take care of your questions in the next session. Till then, thank you very much and have a very nice good days ahead. Jai Sadgurudev.